I'm Paul Wolver. I'm the owner of Pinellas Power Products, and this is my extended runtime fuel kit for the Predator 2000 inverter series generator. A couple of things before we get started. Number one, my extended runtime fuel kits are not a through the cap or gravity feed system. For the gravity feed systems, you have to put the fuel tank higher than the generator or in some precarious location, and it leads to dangerous situations. Number two, with my kit, it includes a fuel pump to transfer the fuel. So if the generator stalls for any reason whatsoever, the fuel pump stops working and it stops transferring fuel. With a gravity feed system, if the generator were to stall for any reason, then gravity is still on and it would continue to try and move fuel to the generator. And it could allow it to overflow the needle and seat, or for whatever reason the generator stalled, you now have a good strong possibility that you're going to have gasoline running all over a hot engine, which is never a safe situation. Number two, my kits include next point is my kits include everything except for the fuel tank itself. The reason I do not include the fuel tank itself is, number one, it seems that no two customers want the exact size fuel tank. For the 2000 Predator, I would recommend a 3-gallon, a 6-gallon, or a 12-gallon. The 3-gallon will run approximately 24 hours before it would run out of fuel. If you used a 6-gallon tank, you get approximately 48 hours before you run out of fuel. And I say approximately because it depends on how much load is on the generator at the time. Let's go ahead and get ready to show you the operation. Once the kit has been installed, it's extremely simple to use. If you wanted to use the generator without the remote tank, you'd use it just like the instructions say. Turn the knob to the start position, pull the ripcord, and it'll fire up and run all day long as it did stock. No changes to the instruction procedure whatsoever. To run it off the remote tank, you'll take the hose that's included in the kit, and you'll notice that the hose has an arrow on the prime bulb to mark the direction of fuel flow. There's also an arrow on each of the fuel fittings pointing in a direction of fuel flow. So you'll hook the one with the icon of a fuel tank to the fuel tank, and the one with just the arrow to the generator. Keep in mind that the direction of fuel flow is from the tank to the generator. So we'll hook up the fuel tank end, and if your fuel tank has a gasoline selector valve, turn that to the on position. Make sure that the vent on the remote tank is in the open position. Then come over to the generator and connect the other quick disconnect to the generator itself. Make sure to run the hose to the front of the generator. Never run it around the back of the generator, because the hot exhaust gases are coming out of the muffler and you don't want hot exhaust blowing on a fuel hose. Next step would be to make sure that the fuel selector valve, or excuse me, the fuel tank vent on the generator itself is in the off position, because you're going to be running it off the remote tank. And you don't want it to try and pull from the stock tank. You want it to pull from the remote tank. Now that the hose is connected up, you'd simply pump the prime bulb till it gets firm. And it doesn't take much with this system. A couple of pumps and you're ready to go. If you already own one of these Predator generators, you're familiar with the starting procedure. Normally you'd turn the fuel selector valve all the way to the start position. This generator's already warmed up, so I don't think we need it in the start position. I'm going to put it in run. The difference between the run position and the start position is that the start position includes choke. Since this generator's already warmed up, I don't think we're going to need choke. We're about to find out. So to start the generator, you simply pull the cord. And this one fired right up without choke. So now we're going to put it in economy mode so we can hear ourselves talking again. Now that the generator is fully started and running, and we intend to run it off the remote tank, I want to turn the fuel selector valve as close to the off position as possible when it goes all the way to off, it also kills the spark. So we're going to turn it to where it kills the spark. And then back to the run just slightly. So now the fuel has been shut off from the stock tank, and it's running entirely off the remote tank. As you can see, I've got the generator way up off the ground, just to show that the fuel pump in it is pumping the fuel into the generator. It's not a gravity feed system. The remote tank is on the ground, the generator's up off the ground. I'm demonstrating it with my 30-gallon tank, but as I said earlier, most of my customers will want either a 3, 6, or a 12-gallon tank. If you have any questions about the system, or if you want to know more about it, there's a link to my website in the description section right below the video. If you go to my website and watch the installation instruction that shows how to install my kit, if you read the write-ups on the website, it gives you more information. If you still have more questions, don't hesitate to call me. I do